Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Iron Palace. This is my gym. I had to move my location because the shop is being worked in. I've got fire flying around and grinding and all kind of noise out there. So I had to move. But today we're going to cover the FedNow. They're rolling out their CBDC that's come out a couple of days ago. And I want to encourage you to go look at all the links we're going to go through, really try to make sense of it so you can brace for impact, because this is going to change things. We will have a CBDC in the future, and we're going to play the whole Wayne Gretzky "be where the puck is going" type thing. We're going to be ahead of the game today. We do have a special guest, Patrick with the Economic Preppers. He's going to give away 2 silver ounces. And they actually have a Bitcoin stamped on them. So if you're not crazy about Bitcoin, maybe you'll be crazy about a piece of silver with a Bitcoin logo on it, because silver's silver, in my opinion. But let's get straight into it with Patrick first, and we're going to talk about the FedNow and what's going on with that and how it's going to change life forever. How you doing, Patrick?
Hey, Chris, welcome. Thanks for having me back. I really appreciate it. So I think you have a great answer today. When we're going to start with John Sacker. John, you're the first winner of our new coin. So here you go. This one will be sent to you. Just send out a comment here and we'll get to it. But he asked a really great question about what happens when CBDCs are released. And this is actually very pertinent to what's going on right now with FedNow. When you guys look back, if you guys are, a good follower of Ninja Nation here, right? So when you talk, we did a video back with Ninja on XRP. We saw this coming. How this is going to affect us is really what we should be concerned about. This is programmable money. They want to be able to track what you're doing. They want to track how you're spending it. They want to control how you're able to spend it. If you buy too much gas, they're going to tell you, you have bought too much gas this week. You don't get to spend your money on gas anymore. Or they're going to tell you, you get to spend extra money on gas this month because you haven't spent any money on gas to stimulate the economy. So this is programmable money, and it's a huge caution. You need to be aware.
I'm going to share the screen real quick so we can give them some links to check out. So like I said, guys, March 15th, 2023, the Federal Reserve announces July launch for the FedNow service. The first week of April, the Federal Reserve will begin the formal certification of participants for launch of the service. Early adopters will complete a customer testing and certification program. Now, what does that mean? What do you have to do to pass this certification program? That's the first clue to me is, this is going to be invasive. They're going to want to know everything about you. And in my opinion, that's why we don't already have a CBDC, is because, they need to know who you are. They need to know what your social credit score is. They need to know what your carbon footprint is, because it's all going to work together to develop an open air prism that's run by central planned money that's going to, it's going to control every aspect of your life, because we use money every day. So know that's coming. Informed by feedback from the FedNow Pilot Program to prepare for sending live transactions through the system. Now, real quick, I want to read a quote. "We couldn't be more excited about the forthcoming FedNow launch, which will enable every participating financial institution, the smallest to the largest, and from all corners of the country, to offer a modern instant payment solution." Okay. We got a little bit more. It's not much to it. With the FedNow service, the Federal Reserve is creating a leading edge payment system that is resilient, adaptive, and accessible to them. It's going to help them the most. They're not going to miss out on any taxes. They're going to be able to garnish wages. They will be able to control and see who you give to. The launch reflects an important milestone in the journey to help financial institutions serve customer needs for instant payments to better support nearly every aspect of our, they said economy, I'm going to say lives. So what do you make of it?
All about control. All about control. And they're trying to use sexy words in this market to try to confuse people. They're using all these adjectives like resilient and reliable, but like there's no definition.
Gold was resilient and reliable. That was a good way to do it,
Yeah, but they're trying to make comparisons to crypto in the traditional markets. So they're using even words like Bitcoin mining, right? When you think about mining, I am learning it is nothing like what real mining is. You know, the gold and silver guys, they understand the work and the labor that goes into production. And this is just another gimmick, another way to get your money out of your pocket, out of your home's values, into your credit cards to help sustain the banking system, to go right back in to a digital form where they could track it and force you to do what they want. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it either, but it's coming, right? I
It's
mean,
here.
yeah, it's here. It's not full fledged yet, but they are rolling it out. And, what can we do to prepare? We're all going to participate in this new digital currency the same way we participate in the fiat dollar bill system. If you think Bitcoin's a scam, or even a lot of people think gold and silver is a scam because there's a premium, whatever. Fact is, if you're participating in dollar bills, it is the biggest scam that's ever hit the planet, and you participate in it every day.
That's
So, in
correct.
order to get along in society, you're going to have to use it.
And let's get back to the whole thing of what happens if, an EMP happens and all you crypto guys are wrong. Well, let me put it this way. I don't think I'd be wrong. I would say I'm prepared for that, just the same way I'm prepared for if an EMP goes off, my credit cards won't work, my bank accounts are going to not be accessible to me. So gold and silver must be part of your strategy. It doesn't matter who we are and where we're talking. Globally, it is accepted and it is guaranteed.
So, go back to the EMP thing. That's a really big question. If EMP goes off, then where does your crypto go?
So I guess the way I would say it is your Bitcoin is still going to live in the ledger. There's nothing that's going to change with that. It'd almost be similar to what happens when your banking system comes back online and the internet turns back on. The only thing is with Bitcoin, the blockchain will continue. There are people who are running cores and nodes in areas where the blockchain is not going to be, they're not at risk to those type of attacks. There are people running Bitcoin nodes in outer space. So the blockchain will just continue on. And when you make a transaction, it'll pick it up and continue moving. So your Bitcoin's not gone, but your ability to access your Bitcoin, to actually utilize it and to spend it is no longer available to you. That's why so many people resort back to what they call physical cryptocurrencies, which is an idea of, hey, we want to take crypto and marry it with digital gold and silver. And this is what they end up giving you. This is a Bitcoin physical coin that they use to actually hold the key. So you can transfer Bitcoin to someone without having to be on the blockchain. So there are ways around that. Your Bitcoin's never gone. The value's still there, but how are you prepared to interact with value with your community? If they don't know that Bitcoin exists, are you really ready to use Bitcoin to buy eggs? Or is the reality that the farmer would be more willing to take your gold and silver?
Okay, and did we answer the fellow's question thoroughly?
I say so.
Okay, congratulations. You've got an ounce of silver on the way. All you have to do is reach out to Patrick in the comments.
Yeah, John, tag me and I'll make sure to get connected with you. Believe me, I know how to do it.
Okay, let's talk about the next question. I'll let Patrick pick the questions because I didn't want to be biased because I know a lot of you guys. And one time I did the big Wheel of Fortune wheel where it spun around, but we're just going to keep it simple because I'm going to let the guy giving away the silver pick the questions.
So the next silver ounce goes to the Geezer Chronicles. The Geezer Chronicles asked the question:
Good job, Geezer.
Is it true that Bitcoin is treated like a commodity and all of the altcoins are treated like securities by the government? Thanks. Yes, for now, the truth is even the SEC and the Commodities Exchange Commissions and globally, Bitcoin is recognized as a commodity. Even right now, there's no wash rule. So for example, if you sell your Nike stock today, you're not allowed to repurchase that stock today and take a loss for it. With Bitcoin, you can currently. Bitcoin is not a regulated security. It is globally recognized as a commodity. The altcoin piece is a little more complicated. We have XRP right now in a fight with SEC. We've got Gary Gensler saying maybe it is a commodity, maybe it is a security. So the only one that I could say with a strong footing globally recognized as a commodity is Bitcoin. I think every other altcoin, again, I would completely separate Bitcoin from every other cryptocurrency.
Awesome. Well, so Bitcoin is considered a commodity, just like gold,
Gold.
silver. That's really interesting. And guys, the space is still really young. It hadn't even been around 20 years. Gold and silver's been around for thousands of years. You can expect this to be volatile. You can just bank on it. But where there's volatility, there's usually money to be made.
There's opportunity for sure.
There's big swings, and I'm looking for some crazy tyrannical moves by the government to try to get all of it. We'll cut your head off if you have a Bitcoin type thing. And that's going to be their way to actually get it themselves and possibly create a derivative of it. Now that's just imperfect people manipulating good money, just like the same thing they do to gold. Same thing.
Correct.
It's the same. But just know this could very well be, in my opinion, kind of like the tech stocks were in the beginning. Amazon, Facebook, when they were really new, the dot-com bubble, pets.com went away. Others did very, very well. And I think that's what we're looking at in the crypto space now. It's just so new. And there's so many scams, and even in gold and silver. I call them all the time. I'm not going to name their names. I would love to, but most of the time when I talk to them, and this goes for you guys too, if you're talking to somebody and they're wanting you to buy precious metals and they feel kind of pushy, it feels kind of pushy, ask them, how much is a monster box delivered to my door? And they're going to come up with 100 different excuses to not give you the answer. They're going to say, well, how much do you have to spend? I didn't ask that. I asked how much a monster box is to my door. And so far, it's been $1,000 up to $1,300 more than what Stacey can get it to your door. So
Stacey gave me a quote like right away. Yeah, here's my numbers. Let me know when you're ready. It's so easy. I was like shocked. I had so much time to actually talk to her more than just talking about the transaction. The transaction was the quick part.
Yeah. So they try to give you the runaround, and it's the same thing going on anywhere. There's, we're in a currency collapse, right, Patrick? I mean, we're
man, this is bad. This is bad news. We've got higher debt than we've ever had, higher credit card utilization than ever, lower than ever record savings amounts in our bank accounts. Unemployment must go up for Fed to be happy and stop raising interest rates. So I don't get what they're doing. They've got like a foot on the gas and a foot on the brakes. And then Yellen is saying, oh, we've got no problems. Why? Because any big bank gets rescued. Any small bank will get shut out right now because they have to pay the money for insurance for the big guys who don't have to pay anything. So your money is totally safe no matter how much you put into the big banks. Yeah, right.
I'm going to read you. I've been doing some research on the CBDC and Zoltan. There's a lot of really smart people, educated, intelligent people that are talking about it. And he's saying what seems highly likely is that the Western governments will rely on financial repression in order to keep the boat afloat and tackle the debt problem. I expect there will be more initiatives to increase control over internal money, systems that will likely be increasingly unpopular. Introducing of the CBDC, for example, could be one such initiative. There is no doubt in my mind that we are in for eventful times ahead in this respect. At the same time, it also seems inevitable at this stage that some sort of alternative external money system will emerge that will complete within the current internal money global financial order. So it will compete in that, kind of like Bitcoin. He expects there to be some type of external money to compete with the internal money, and they are not going to like that. So brace for impact, guys, because it is going to get wild. We've got banks failing. We've got governments raising interest rates. all while bailing out the banks that the taxpayer is going to pay back, even
And
though they
this just
say
happened with Credit Suisse too, right? So this is happening globally. This is already happening. CBDCs have already been launched in other countries and have failed miserably. In Nigeria, Bitcoin is selling for a 60% premium. Again, we're seeing the same symptoms that you see when your fiat currency is failing. Gold and silver are a safe haven, and people are starting to recognize today, as our money is failing, Bitcoin is going up to 23, 24, 25, $26,000. Why? Not because Bitcoin is so much stronger today. It's because the dollar is getting weaker. So it takes more dollars to buy the same asset, whether it's Bitcoin, gold, or silver.
or food or
Or
land
food.
or anything else that, I'm a hard asset guy for the most part. A lot of people don't consider Bitcoin a hard asset, but land, chickens, gold, food, all that stuff that's real value. I've never regretted buying land. I just bought some more, and it was expensive, but I've never regretted it. It's
No, this is
always
a good shout out to a friend of mine from church. His dad, my buddy Travis, his dad said, I asked him, do you own silver? Do you own gold? What do you own? And he said, nothing. I own tools. Tools are my investment. And I kind of thought about that for a minute and realized, holy crap, this guy has everything he needs if anything happens. And of course, now I know where to go spend my gold. The guy who's got all the tools that I'll probably need. So it doesn't always look the way that we do it every day. Like your investment portfolio may not have any Bitcoin or gold in it, but there may be something else of value that you can contribute to your community. And I think that's what here at Ninja Nation really strive for. That's why we have love for each other as a community, is we can help each other, and iron sharpens iron.
That's right. Now, and by the way, you guys in the comments, you're awesome. Salt of the Earth is in there, and I absolutely love it. I
Heck
know a
yeah.
lot of them personally, and we're really good friends. And every time I go to a meetup or meet them, it's just like having a family reunion. I feel like I've known them my whole life. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It really helps the video and helps get this message out. But in the meantime, talking about cross currents with the currency dying, because that's what they do when the currency is backed by nothing, they usually go the way of the dodo. And proof of this happening, as we speak, Russia is accelerating its exports of diesel to Saudi Arabia by both direct shipments and shipments to ship transfers. Russia is shortening the routes to tankers heading to Africa and Asia after Moscow is now banned from exporting fuels to the EU. So there's other people getting the EU share uh, of oil and diesel and all these fossil fuels, and they're doing business outside of the U.S. dollar. The petrodollar is how we had validity. That was our thing. We killed Omar Gaddafi over it. We're and now it's slipping away at a rapid pace, and it seems like it's getting a little bit faster right here at the end with the banks failing. And I don't know if anybody saw George Gammon did a video a while back, and I just caught a little bit of it, but he was talking about a tsunami, and he was talking about they have a system set up. So it's like a buoy that's held down to the bottom, and you can be out in the ocean like we are now, and a wave go by, and it could be a tsunami, but you wouldn't know it, because if you're just looking over the ocean, uh, you don't really see the tsunami. If you're out in it, it's just kind of a big wave, kind of like that. But the closer it gets to the point of impact, the worse it is. So as we're looking out there and you see waves like the banks collapsing, this is massive. I mean, that's the second largest bank to collapse since 2008. This is a big, big deal. And you've got Credit Suisse and other ones involved. And nobody's watching the indicators. It's like, they'll
But
just
they
bail
filed
them
for
out.
bankruptcy anyways this morning. Silicon Valley filed for bankruptcy this morning. So it's like Chapter 11, here it goes anyways. Like, what is going on here? Banks being bought for $1 and people's assets leaving from their bank accounts because they don't feel like it's safe. So they put it into a big bank. So the big banks just loan it back to the small banks. So Get control of your assets, guys. Don't let them play games. Get out of the system. Stop being a pawn. I don't want to get you banned, so I'll stop there.
Well, the moral of the story is that $25 billion that they pulled up to the billion-dollar window that they created for these banks, that will leach into the economy, that will debase the currency more, 100%. No way around it. That's what happens. Governments print money, period. And as things get worse, they're going to print more money, and that's going to devalue the currency more. And I look for Bitcoin and assets like Bitcoin, gold, and silver to do very well. Even platinum, uh, palladium, as high as it is, those assets are
They're going to need phosphorus in cars, cobalt in these new electric vehicles. They're going to need copper for new transmission systems. We need natural resources. That's what what I do now with stock pulses, hunting hidden treasures. But the reality of what they're doing is, again, globally, like you hit on it so well right in the beginning. You said the Russians are starting to move away from using the petrodollar. Saudi is moving away from using the petrodollar. So what happens when you no longer need a dollar to buy oil? So now people don't need dollars anymore. It's in lower demand. So they're going to get rid of the dollars. As the dollars come back to the United States, inflation will increase because, as Joe Brown says it very well from Heresy Financial, when there is an increase in money supply and the dollars are abundant, the interest rates are low. And when the dollars are scarce, the interest rates are high. So as the dollars come back, it's only going to hurt us because there's more dollars in circulation. And as they keep printing it, driving down and selling our treasuries, we get pooched every single time.
So it's more dollars chasing less goods and services. That's what it boils down to. There's inflation in a nutshell.
Effect, right? That's that tsunami effect you're feeling. It's those who get the money first are the ones who benefit first. Go and take a look at Litecoin Leader's video. He did a really great video on this, guys. I won't get into it, but when you have the money first and you are the last person at the end of the line to receive these CBDCs, you are the last person to be able to go purchase with these, and the newest money got the best value up front. So this is the tsunami you're talking about, and this is exactly what George was talking about, is at the end of the impact is where it hurts the most.
Yeah, that's and the biggest part of the move is most always the last 10% of the time. 90% of the move is in the last 10% of the time. So we're really starting to see that everything happening at once. And guys, hedge with food first. Get your food, get your preps. We're still prepping. I've noticed a lot of and even me, it's easy to get lax on. But truth be known, all the food that I've bought, I've beaten the stock market on. Food prices have done nothing but go up. So that's been very sound advice.
I went to Costco and I bought like 50 cases of this stuff because I knew that that's the best investment I could make over the next 6 months.
Right. Well, Patrick, did we cover everybody's questions?
Yeah, we picked 2, and you guys can follow for more. There's going to be plenty of opportunities. I have many opportunities to give out silver. So yeah, follow us at Stock Pulse. Follow me at Divvy Daddy. Follow us at Economic Preppers. That's the shameless plug. But the idea is we're all together. So if you guys have more questions, I will be ready to answer them in the chats too.
Absolutely. I'll put the link to your videos, the Economic Preppers, in the description. And if you ever have a chance to go to one of Stock Pulse's events, the Silver Symposium, they're put on really well. Rob does a very good job with that. I know Patrick's going to be, I don't know if you're in charge of it, but you're going to have
that'll be my baby this year.
A lot to do with it. So that's really cool. And it's a good place to meet like-minded people. I've always left with way more than I came with, if you know what I mean. You can learn one thing at one of these events and it'll change your life forever. And if you'll see one thing, you can't unsee it, for the rest of your life. And it's like, wow, I'm so grateful I met that person, or I'm so grateful I learned that when whoever was speaking. You take something away that you won't forget. So, guys, thank you for being here. Patrick, thank you for coming on and giving away silver. That's always a cool thing to give away. And I guess that's it. You want to send us off?
Have an awesome day.
All right, guys. Later.